President Biden in Mexico for talks with their president over border security. Their talks will include the surge of migrants from Central and South America arriving at the southern U.S. border. Meanwhile, President Biden facing criticism after his first presidential visit to the border. His 3-hour visit to El Paso included a tour of a migrant processing center, but as CNN's Rosa Flores reports, the president did not see or meet with any migrants despite hundreds living on the streets.
¿Y tú qué quieres ser cuando seas grande? What do you want to be? Maestra. Oh, she wants to be a teacher.
The Tovar sisters have been living in this makeshift migrant camp outside an El Paso church for a week.
Rapunzel. Oh, she wants to be Rapunzel.
Playing with toys is a luxury they haven't enjoyed since they left Venezuela 4 months ago, according to their dad.
No hay educación para las niñas, nada.
He says that he decided to come to the United States because of the economic situation in Venezuela, because there's no education really for his daughters.
The Tobars are among the hundreds of migrants who call the streets of El Paso home, arguably the epicenter of the current border crisis. A scene President Joe Biden skipped during his first visit to the border, a short 3-hour stop in El Paso that prompted criticism by the governor of Texas.
This is nothing but for show.
And protest by local immigration and human rights advocates.
You are not alone.
Like Fernando Garcia.
You think this is a photo op for the president?
I think this is it. I mean, 3 hours, what is what you can do with them? But that feeling of disappointment is being transformed into outrage.
Outrage over policies like the Trump-era pandemic public health rule known as Title 42, says Garcia. That rule allows border agents to swiftly expel some migrants to Mexico. Biden said this about the policy.
I don't like Title 42.
Just days ago, he expanded the rule to Venezuelans, Cubans, Nicaraguans, and Haitians.
I think the only ones happy with the expansion of Title 42 are the Trumpists, conservative Republicans, the people that supported Biden. I mean, we were expecting something different from him.
Something more humane, like the campaign promises he made, says Garcia. During his visit, Biden stopped by a port of entry, a migrant respite center, and by the border wall, but didn't appear to see or meet any migrants, which Garcia says means the president was not exposed to the full magnitude of the immigration crisis.
3 hours.
Is that enough?
No. Obviously, it's not enough.
A senior Biden administration official said it was just a coincidence that no migrants were at the migrant processing center in El Paso when the president arrived. This as hundreds of migrants, including children, continue to camp around Sacred Heart Catholic Church in downtown El Paso, many of them sleeping on the ground as volunteers pass out food and water. Some of the migrants say they had been there for days. President Biden did not visit the church.
We have been operating until the last few days, either at or over capacity. And when I say over capacity, significantly over capacity.
John Martin says the federal government could help migrant shelters by providing them with two things: more funding and more shelters. In a press meeting on Air Force One, Homeland Security Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas says they have increased resources and Border Patrol agents at the southern border.